Mone Malawi kuchokera zigawo zosiyana zimene mukuonera kanema wa Times. Ine dzina langa ndi Yankho Seunda. Ena tili nanu limodzi pa utatafu wathu wa mchezo Times 360 Malawi, ndipo pamene pali pa Facebook page yathu. Tikulandireni kuno ku Mount Soche Hotel mu mzinda wa Blantyre lero la Mulungu pa 3 August mchaka cha 2025, pamene zipani za Democratic pungwa nyumba ya malamulo angakhalenso ndithu makansa. Kudali nkoke mwezi wa Julai ku BICC kumene atsogoleri osiyanasiyana zipani amakapereka manomination papers awo, kukapereka ndithu chidwi chofuna kutifotokozera chonena kuti azayima nawo pa chisankho cha pa 16 September ngati atsogoleri a dziko lino. Mtsogoleri wa chipani cha Democratic Progressive Arthur Peter Mutharika ndamene atsogoleri ndithu mgwirizano umenewo kufikira pa 16 September pano, ndipo running mate awo ndi Mai Jane Ansa. Ndi anthu ochuluka komanso osiyanasiyana azipani ziwirizi amene apezeka malo ano ncholinga chonena kuti aone komanso amvetsere ndi kutsimikizira kukhazikisidwa kwa manifesto amenewa a Democratic Progressive Party mogwirizana ndi anzathu a Aford. Sitili ndekha kuno, ndi mzanga Chisomo Chihana ndamene tikhale tikucheza komanso kupasani chithunzithunzi cha mmene mukumverera pansi anthu osatira zipani zimenezi za Democratic Progressive komanso Aford kuyimba angakhalenso ndithu kuvina. Tingocheza pang'ono ndi mzanga Chisomo Chihana kuti angopereka chithunzithunzi chazochitika malo. Muli bwanji munthu amayi?
Ndili bwino kaiwe Yankho.
Ifeso chimodzimodzi momwetulira kwambiri.
Makhala usangala nthawi zonse ali mavuto samata.
Okay, chabwino. Tango apasani anthu chithunzithunzi cha zochitika za malo ano chifikireni kufikira nthawi.
Chabwino mwina pamamano tikati tione pali chimwemwe chokha nyimbo zosiyanasiyana zosanga chipani chawo. Mwina so tingokambapo Yankho kunena kuti imene anthu amakasiya
President, Vice President. Brighton Saka kuti ndo athu olemekezeka.
Manifesto awo amene akhala kutuluka pakadali pano pamene tikuthamangira ku ulendo umene wa pa 16 September.
Kukamba chilungamo panopa amalawi akungofuna kusintha kuonena kuti zinthu zimene zipani zimayika manifesto awo zikhale ndithu zinthu zogwirika. Mfundo 1 zogwirika, 2 kukhale ndithu kukwaniritsa mfundo zimene zija. Chifukwa chonena kuti Yankho khoza ndikhulupirira anthu ambiri komanso zipani zambiri zimapanga ma manifestos osiyanasiyana, koma mwina akapatsidwa mpata onena kuti alamulire dziko kuti mukapitirire ndi kukaona manifesto yawo ija makapezeka zonena kuti mwina zinthu zambiri zimene anthu achadalonjeza kapena
ulemu wao. Shortly, as I said earlier,
moyo wavuta out there ukhoza kundikhulupirira. So chimene akufuna ndi manifesto yonena kuti ndithu ndiyolemerera bwino komanso ya mfundo
Dr. Chen
komanso kuthekera ndi kuti pazikhala ndithu mwina sindikudziwa zonena kuti ndikhoza kufotokoza mawu amene muchichewa chotani, koma kuti pazikhala kuti anthu ndithu kuthekera konena kuti anthu azitha kukwanitsa malonjezo awo komanso
chabwino tikhale kucheza ndi akuluakulu azipanizi chaposa chedo apa ndikupempha mzanga kuti mwina mwake undipezere ena mawiri atatu koma apa ndaona onabo Thoko Tembo muli bwanji?
Tili bwino kaini.
Ifenso tili bwino ndithu. Mukumva bwanji nthupi mukunena kuti tsiku la lero inu ndi anzanu a Aford mukukhazikitsa reko manifesto amene?
Ine ndikumva bwino kwa basi ndi chisangalalo chodzaza tsaya. I think tsiku limene timayembekezera ndi lero, tsiku limene amalawi atamve kuti kodi Professor atapita Muntharika, chipani cha DPP, komanso Enoch Chihana ndi chipani cha Aford kugwirizana limodzi kupanga manifesto yotukula Malawi kuti akonza zotani.
Mungofuna kuti itsanulirako mwina mwake pang'ono ndi uzozonena kuti mwina mwake kuchipindako nkutheka kuti mwamverako zina ziwiri zitatu. Manifesto amene utiyembekezeremo zotani kwenkweni?
Manifesto amene muyembekezere zimfundo zotukula achinyamata, muyembekezeremo mfundo zopititsa patsogolo ndithu ma health systems athu, muyembekezereko mfundo zazikulu kwambiri za mmene chuma chitayendere, chifukwa kuti anthu ambiri pakati pa akhala akuona kuti chuma ndalama yako achayi akhala ingopanga zake kutenga ndalama zakunja zimasowa kumene. So manifesto mmenemu mukhala ndi kuwuzidwa kuti kodi zimenezi zingayende bwanji kuti tikonze dziko la Malawi.
Kodi mwakasiya kale makalata anu?
Makalata akasiya ndithu.
Zinatheka kale?
Zinatheka basi.
Zona ngati zikatheka waso kumwanzako.
Tingodikira pa 16 September kuneno North zikatheke basi.
Mulibe mantha kumeneko? Mulibe wina akakutekesani kwambiri?
Kulibe mantha wose. Kulibe mantha wose.
Koma kucheza kwanu nda Aford kukhala kotani kwabwino?
Ndi Aford
takhalana bwino
kwa basi. Kukhanga ndi ubale wakalekale ndithu. Ndangona saba kuti mu dzina lawo muli alliance kale, dzina alliance kale. So Alliance for Democracy, timochira ziso kwa democracy ende bwino, tutukule Malawi, zabwino zokhazo.
Munthu amayiko mamukumpanga support bwanji running mate wanu.
Ndipo we could not have asked for a better running mate. Ndi munthu wanzeru zake, munthu okuti anagwirapo ntchito at high level, and patakati pano pa alliance akupanga support Jena Ansa. Ndipo we are very very excited.
Ino simmozi okuya?
Kukuya ndi chani iso?
Silanga ndikuzimamveka kuti anthu ena semagwirizana nazo.
Aliyesa kugwirizana nazo, aliyese panopa ndokuti tili limodzi ngati banja limodzi chipani cha DPP kuyendetsa kuti tipite patsogolo.
Chabwino. Ndathokoza kwambiri ndikufunirani zabwino zonse. Ndikusiyani kaya. Ndi ambiri a chipani cha Democratic Progressive amene ndikhale ndikucheza nawo muli bwanji munthu wankulu?
Ndili bwino muli bwanji bwana?
Ifenso chimodzi mwetasowana ato.
Patenga ndala. Tili mchire basi.
Kodi muli mchire kaya?
Tili mtengo basi.
Muthamangira kuti pachi?
Kukachotsa mkwiyo, kukathandizana ndi Malawi mkwiyo wa mavuto amene akumana nawo.
Mkwiyo wake so kuti wonse kodi?
Bwana nkutheka kuti mmakhala mu studio. Ndiye simukudziwa.
Mmakhala background.
Mmakhala ground. Ndiye kumene kukuli mkwiyo. Mkwiyo wokuti anawuzidwa azidya katatu sakudya. Osati kudya kamodzi kokha. Kukadakhala kamodzi kokha mkwiyo ukadachepa. Umene amawuzidwa kuti mfetereza atsika sanapezeke ndiye kuli mkwiyo kumeneko. Ndiye tapita kumeneko kuti tikakambirana kuti mkwiyo tuchotsa bwanji.
Ndiye tiyembekeza kunena kuti muchotsa mkwiyo motani mungotsanula chabe tikhale ndi chithunzithunzi chotani.
Zinthu zingapo zimene zichitike, choyambirira ndi chakuti dziko lino likufunika kukhala stable. Anthu amene amaphunzira za ndale amanena kuti good economics makes good politics. Ndiye chifukwa chimene chocho tikungoyenera kunena kuti tipangiza chuma zoyenerera ndicho linga chokuti ndale zathu ziziyenda bwino. Sitinganene kuti zinthu zili bwino ngati economy isali bwino. So choyamba ndikoti tikonzeza chuma.
Chicha sintha ulendo uno njani ku DPP kuti anthu mpaka nafike ponena kuti tipangiza iwo tsopano.
Bwana mmene ndakuwuzira ndikunena kuti ndi ndale za ndi economy yabwino imene imapanga ndale zabwino. Ndiye chifukwa chakuti economy si ili bwino ndi chifukwa chake ndale so sizili bwino. Mutha kuona ino kunena kuti mmene moyo wa munthu unalilidzana simene ulili lero. 50,000 kwa chayadzana imatha kugula mabagi 7 achimanga. 50,000 ya lero ikulepera kugula olobagi imodzi ya chimanga. Simunganene kuti zinthu zili bwino. Ndiye chimene chasintha nchokuti DPP anazindikira kuti DPP ikafika nkhani ya economy zinthu zimayenda bwino. Bwana sizizatheka boma kuti likanamize anthu kuti lizikadyetsa daily pakhomo. Koma tichite create environment imene munthu yadzikwanitsa kumazipangira zinthu yekha. Olo mutanama chotani nkhani ya economy ma results amaoneka pa ground imene akuyenera kukhala ndipo ndi zimene zikuchitika.
Kodi anthu aonera kuti kubwera kwanu ndi Aford pamodzi ndi bomba
limene libwana ndi bomba lije lokuti likuchuma mistake inali yonse padakale pano liphulika ndipo liphulika ine time apapata boma tapanga kale chimene tikukambirana pano nchoti tsiku loyamba tipanga chani wiki yoyamba tipanga chani 100 days tipanga chani chifukwa mavuto amene Amalawi ali nawo ngakulu kwambiri amene akufunika ndithu kukonza zinthu kuti zinthu ziyende bwino otherwise time yowatenga Amalawi for granted inatha kalekale tikuyenera kuti tiapatsa Malawi zimene akuyenera kuti akhale nazo. We can't promise the moon but we can promise stability.
Tiyembekeze zotani
lero muyembekezere kuti chiyembekezo cha mavuto awo wonse chichidwani paki lerolo. Manifesto imeneyi ndi kamlozera watsogolo la Malawi, kamlozera wa 5 years zimene zikubwerazi, kamlozera kuti Malawi aoneka motani, mavuto amene anthu akukhala nawo nkhani za ngongole, mavuto amene anthu akukhala nawo nkhani ya chitetezo, mavuto amene anthu akukhala nawo nkhani ya njala, mavuto anthu amene akukhala nawo nkhani ya zachuma ndi nkhani imene tikukambirana lero ndipo tichitani paki lerolo kuna kuti zotere zikuoneka motere.
Ndikuthokozeni ndikufuneni zabwino zonse.
Ndathokoza kwambiri.
Ndaona amene amayankhuliraso chipani cha Democratic Progressive achibwinanga akulu bambo na malomba muli bwanji?
Bwino kaena chimwenetu.
Mwametano?
Ndameta? Ndanchepesa paja ndani kuti nzameta pa 16 September.
Kuti mwanchepesa?
Ndanchepesa.
Bwanji zinalowerera uje sabwe?
Sigidzinso.
Sige zinalowerera. Kandi namba kuti mwana nkati?
Nalowa.
Kunali bwanji meno?
Ayi panopa akusamalira panopa bolani.
Panopa akusamalira.
Bolani fansi ayi akusamalira pa banda polisi pali bwino.
Ndio kuti simudandaula.
Ayi kudani maganizaso kuti so
olada kusankhanisa ndio simungagwire kanthu ndio zinthu zili bwino
iyayi kuti tikakonza
kuti mukatamanga pa 16 September
nkofuna kukonza
bwanjisi
nkofuna kukonza simalo abwino
mesa manena kuti kuli bwino kodi
khasako kusiyana ndi ulendo umene ndaonera uli nthawi ina yake panopa mablanketi alipo kuzizirako mablanketi alipo
anzana kunena kuti pamene mwapitako mwabwerako chotere mwabatizidwa nonso pano
akutero akuti political baptism
zimaenda choncho kodi
sizimaina okhala tinayenera kumakondana dziko nanga inu tinapeza nkhani yopeza ili kupoti koma tingonena kuti tiyenera kumakondana ukakhala pa mpando ngati mtsogoleri osamakhala mtsogoleri wokwiya kapena wa zinthu zotino ukamuona anzako kuti chimuonekere chakuti tiye tikondaneni chofunika ndi watumikira Amalawi ndimona ngati milandu ina ya anthu andale timayira kuisa ndi patsogoleri kwasi mungakhale 10 years ndikumaka mutenga munthu pano ayi zolakwika koma pano tili pano chifukwa cha manifesto
umaola olizitathaza ka 20 sumaola tumulanda
siyenera kuola
unalesa maini yakuyankha ndokonda chilungamo
ineso ngasanditenga kodi ndili pabelo tu pano
zamulando tetisiye pambali manifesto tsiku la lero mwakonzeka motani?
Takonzeka mmene mwaonera atsogoleri pano afika onse chifukwa timanena kuti mwambo uno ayimirire ndi Right Honorable Dr. Jenny Ansa mwambo uno ndi wa technical kwambiri chifukwa tikufuna tipatseni mwayi inu ngati atolankhani komanso aliyense ali pano kuti afunse mafunso netakonzeka mwina ndingowauza Amalawi kuti angotchera khutu aone mezi uchitikira kuno masana anu akhala ndi Professor Apita Muthalika panjamba paja ndi amene ino akapangenso launch makamaka ya chichewa ndikuyankhula ku mtundu wa Amalawi ino ndiyo yankhulira business ndiye na hotelo kuti aone kuti manifesto DPP atengera chani ndi Aford DPP ndi Aford atengera chani ma business awo achinyamata ntchito ngongole azimayi amene swali ndi mauluma ali zazoterozo zonse zili mmene
ndimafunsa anthu ena nkhani zogwirizana ndi ubale wanu ndi Aford ayembekezere zotani usatira zipani ziwiri zikupanso Amalawi
kuyenda wekha umayenda komano umakhala kupita pena pake kuperewera pamene tikuyenda anthu angapo ngati ulendo uno Aford yabwera kale tikuyembekezeranso ena kuti abwere kuyenda nonse pamodzi zimakhala bwino chifukwa wina wakakhala kuti akupanga zolakwika manenano akulu apa mupanga molakwika ife tikuyembekezera kuti ulendo wokatumikira Amalawi tikatumikira bwino makamaka mayankho amene kapena mavuto amene Amalawi akumana nawo tikatha kuyankha bwino pamene tonse tili limodzi palibenso kusankhana palibe vuto lina tuli malayi muno kusankhana mitundu kusankhana mitundu ndi pamene zipani nene izi zipani zambiri atsogoleri ake osapoti yawo imakhala tribal based ndi tingotina kuti atsogoleri osiyanasiyana amene ali ndi ma tribal base awo abwere pamodzi we are making one man
finally mwati APM sapezeka kuno
la
APM sapezeka kuno
kuno ya APM apezeka kujamba tikatengana nawo anyamuka
mwati zakuna za technical
technical komanso ntchito mapatsana ndi lani imetichitake ndi chani ngati sangabwere kudzapanga greso ndi ntchito yake ndi chani azikukhala pambuyo
ndithokoza kwambiri amalongo
ndi learning method watunso ndi odzisata bwino
komanso senanga IBM ndi odzisataso ndi professor
ndifaka upanga delegate kwa uyo professor upanga delegate kwa doko ena aja mwaone learning method ndi ma Mr. Lad
basi situkamba zaina tokamba zaina
ndi ma Mr. apite kalasa
ndathokoza muri mlando msamachilokezo yako ana malomba tipite pakadali pano kwa amene akuyendetsa ndithu mwambo kuti tione kuti ziyenda mota inu mukhale pomwe
Manifesto in the land. APM is the answer. DPP oye! DPP oye! Now, before I proceed, I would like to ask Apostle Koviwa to come in front and take us through the prayer line. He is going to introduce some members of the clergy and take us through the whole prayer line. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mama uno takondeleredwa olemekezeka kuti tili ndi azitumiki a Mulungu amene abwera kuti alemekeze mwambo uno. Ndiye mwapadera tisanayambe mapemphero athu mama uno ndimafuna kuti ndingowayimitsa kuti muwaone. Tili ndi a Sheikh Gerald Chilinde amene ndi a chairperson a Muslim Supreme Council. Sheikh karibu. Tilinso ndi Reverend Collins Maganga a Blantyre Synod ndi kupempheni kuti muyimirire kuti. Tilinso ndi Reverend Chikondi a Chinangolo Banda a Blantyre Synod. Tilinso ndi Reverend Kingsley Maulana a Blantyre Synod. Komanso mama uno tili ndi Sheikh Imrani Jafari ochokeranso ku Muslim Supreme Council. Your Honor, at this point we will have the opening prayers, and the first prayer will be an Islamic prayer, which will be an opening prayer. Thereafter, we will have Reverend Collins Maganga, who will give us an intercessory prayer and also a dedication to our manifesto, which Your Honor will be launching this morning. And at this point of time, let me invite Sheikh Gerald kuti muzati patse pemphero lo tsegulira ndiye ndikupempheninso ne abusa Maganga kuti mungobwera. Thank you, Your Honor.
Assalamualaikum. Haleluya. Ambuye ndi wabwino. Ndali zonse. Sikuna tengo wabatalire. Ine simu kundizi wakulakulu. Mukundizi wapeti. Chabwino. Choyambirira tikale chete mpindi imodzi. Tikumbukira abale ndi alongo amene analuza moyo wawo ngozi ya ndege kuchikangawa chinalusanso wachiwiri kwa tsogoleli wa dziko lino Dr. Saulos Kraus Chilima chikale chete mpindi imodzi Samarikum Haleluya choyamba ndikumbukire miyambi ya makolo akale amanena kuti ukana amasi uchedwa kucha samatero kachiwiri amaticha mwana akamalirira mpeni kunsila akasiche kautani choyamba mundilole ndawe ya kumawa ngati uno titokoze mulungu Allah chifukwa choti sunga ino ndine kuchoka pamene tinaponya chisango cha feki cha chinyengo tika mpaka na lero pata zaka zisanu ndikunama ngati ndiye mulungu watisunga siku la lero pali anzatu ena mulungu anatenga koma sanafune iyayi kumalamulo mmene mulungu atiuza mQur'an sura 183 verse ya kullu nafsi akuti mzimu uliwonse uzala wa imfa sakutero iwo anatenga tikafika ku Bible Masalimo 89:48 akuti mundu ndani amene hata akalebe ndi moyo osaona imfa sanatero choncho ndiye ife mulungu watisiya ali ncholinga timuyamike Allah pambuyo pa mawu amenewa mundilole mothamanga andipasa 5 minutes timuyamike mulungu Allah chifukwa chotipasa mtsogoleri wodeka Profesa Atapita Mtalika akanakala wapuma simesi na chitika 2020 sikanakala kwa nasa mukuziwa ziko la Angola kunali asogoleri atatu Kosinyoneto Savimbi Roberto wachipani cha NPLA wina wa UNITA wina FNLA china chitika ndichani tikalangula kunjamba chaonani ambuye mulungu Profesa Atapita Mtalika pamene anawina chisango cha 2019 pali andu achinyengo anafuna kuti amulande boma koma iye sana limbe anatisha ndimvera malamulo ngani ipita ku court ndimvera malamulo chisango chichitike ndimvera malamulo awina wolemekezeka achakwera chitimanyoza msogoleri ngati mukunyoza apita zili ndinu mulungu akulangani pa 16 September iye anafunira mafuno abwino kumpanga congratulation chifukwa chani anafuna kuti ku Malawi kusakale nkhondo timtokoze Allah koposa ambuye tikukuthokozani chifukwa chompasa maganizo abwino wolemekezeka ng'ono wanga Enoki chakufa kanzingeni simbi ya moto chehana atakala moganiza powona kuzunzika kwa Amalawi lero lino Amalawi tikuzunzika chiyambirecho anatilonjeza kuti akonza zinthu kuma abale yanga kodi akonza kapena unonga sopano gari moto likaonongeka limapita ku garaja pa 16 tikufuna Profesa Atapita Mtalika akonze ziko lino ambuya motamanga chikutokozeni chifukwa cha Amalawi kupeza ntima kuma msadandaule ai koposa titokoze mana watu alafu tikangata musachite mantha mukhala ngati aneneri atatu amene analimbana ndi mfumu Nebukadinezara pamene amauza kuti apembeze milungu yawo koma anakana. Pomaliza nawo pyesa kuti mukakana kupembeza milungu yanga ndikuochani pa moto, anatisha mulungu ameti mpembeza ife ngati satila nangati sati purumusa tisiya kumpembeza kuti ataponya pa moto aneneri atatu anapezekanga anayi. Wina anali ndani? Musadandaule tikalangula zambiri kunjamba, mulungu adalise nusu. Samaraikum. Haleluya. Ambuye ndi wabwino ndawi zonse.
Tipemphere. Mulungu Atate wathu, mdzina la Yesu Khristu tiza mauno pamaso panu mogonja ndi modzichepetsa poyamba chifukwa cha moyo umene mwatipasa mtsiku limeneli. Zikomo kwambiri Mulungu popeza nthawi yakwana ndipo mayankho apezeka pamene mtundu wa Malawi ukuzunzika. Anthu afika posiya galimoto ndikumayenda pasi, anthu afika pokudya chiteze, anthu afika ponamizidwa. Koma inu Mulungu mumamva kulira kwa ana anu. Tili muno lero Mulungu pamene atsogoleri athu afuna kukhazikitsa mfundo zotyakuka zimene dziko la Malawi lizayamba kuyendera kuchokera pa 17 September. Mulungu mudze mupezeke mchipinda chino, kulibe kwina kumene tidalira koma ndi kwa inu nokha. Mawu anu amatisimikizira kuti gogodani ndizakusegulirani, pemphani ndizakupasani. Tikupempha Mulungu mutipulumuse. Anthu ambiri akuyenda mchigwa cha mthunzi wa imfa, anthu akungomangidwa popanda zifukwa. Koma Mulungu inu mumamva kulira kwa ana anu. Idzani limbikitsani atsogoleri athu. Ndinu mwalola mgwirizano uwu kuti uchitike mcholinga chowombola mtundu wa Malawi. Chifukwa chake Mulungu ndikupemphera mudalitse atsogoleri onse a mgwirizano umenewu kuti zimene zichitike pa 16 zikhale zowombola mtundu wa Malawi komanso zilemekeze inu nokha. Ndikupemphera Mulungu chifukwa cha mfundo zimene zifotokozeredwa m'nyumba ino. Tizitukulira pamaso panu Mulungu kuti inu mwa Mzimu wanu oyera mukapezeke mmenemo. Koposa tikachoka pano pazakhalanso ulendo wopita konkuja kunjamba. Tetezani wina aliyense amene azakhala kuyenda. Ndipiti wonse umene ukachokere pa Upper Stadium kupita kunjamba, Mulungu mukapezekemo. Sitikufuna mzimu oyipa upezeke malo ano, komanso kumene ananu akakumana masana. Pamene tasonkhana muno tikudziwa kuti alipo ena osatifunira zabwino. Asani baladi Mulungu amene musalole kupereka pakati pathu. Achite manyazi. Satana atumika kwa limomu. Iwe kwako ndikupha, kuba, komanso kuononga. Komanso tikuze kuti sitima kuopa. Khalani ndina aliyense onse amene akuyenda kuchokera ku madera atali. Timangeni tonse pamozi ngati mtundu wa Malawi. Tikupemphera mizimu ya chisokonezo sapezeke makamaka umafika po mamenyedwa anthu achitetezwa alipompo kumango yang'ana. Koma Mulungu inu mulini mayankho. Siku lafika pa 16 September tukhulupirira mukhala nafe. Khalani ndi atsogoleri athu, khalani ndi onse amene a komiti amene apanga chikonzero chimenechi. Inu mukule, ife tichepe, mulemekezeke Atate mawa uno chifukwa cha mwana Yesu Khristu ambuye wathu. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Maganga and Sheikh Gerard. Your Honor, this is Sunday, and the Bible says, if the Lord cannot build a house. They labor in vain, those that build it. Now, as a tradition, I will request you, Your Honor, to lead us to stand up and wish each other peace, because Job chapter 22 verse 28 says, "You shall also declare a thing, and it shall be established unto you, and the light shall shine upon your ways." So wish each other well, that we'll go through to the elections and be successful, and the light will shine. And at the same time, I will request the officiating clergy to come where you are, just to wish you peace, and wish peace to Right Honorable Chakufa Chihana, Your Honor. Let us all stand and each wish each other peace.
Thank you very much, Apostle Koviwa, and the entire clergy that had to come here to give us a blessing. May I ask each one of you to take a seat as we proceed. Amaindi abambo, mmene tikupitirira ndi programu yathu mama uno, ndipitirire kupereka ulemu kwa alendo ena amene pa nthawi imene timapereka ulemu anali asanakhazikike nkuwazindikira kuti tili nawo pakati pathu. Ulemekezeka athu amene tili nawo pano, Aras Chikomeni, representing JA government. Akukapereka moni kwa mapresidenti anzao. Komanso konvoy yao ya imamalo abwino panja apo tayiona. Beautiful. It's always good to get together. Ndipeleka ulemu kwa Mr. Mavoto Bamosi, our political science representative. Komanso, all representatives of the British Commissioner here present this morning. And of course the mayor of the city of Blantyre, His Worship, the mayor, amakwinja amene ndakuona ndipena pake munthu wankulu. Aha, mulandero ulemu wanu ndithu. Ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed, in the interest of time, I would like to introduce to you the panel seated in front. You may be asking why they've been here for a while, and you are actually wondering why, indeed. Kutsogoloku, Tirindi, Dr. Collins Magalasi, Komanso Ameneali, a chairman, panel Yonse, Komanso organizing committee, ya Manifesto launch. DPP oye! We have Dr. Justin Saidi, Imana Gwonediso. We have Mr. Clement Kumbemba. Please present yourself, sir. We have the most hyperactive lady in the land so far, Madam Jana. Honorable Toko Tembo, amene olemegezeka. Komanso, we have Honorable Samuel Tembenu, SC. Thank you very much. At this particular time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask Dr. Collins my apologies indeed. Dr. James Mpunga. Avalachipewa Dr. Sinaone. He's hardly in such an attire. Thank you very much. Ameneo the Dr. James Mpunga. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite Dr. Collins Magalasi, the chairman of the Manifesto Launch Committee, to address us this morning. Thank you very much. Doctor, over to you.
Right Honorable Justice Dr. Jenansa, running mate of the Democratic Progressive Party, Your Excellency Enoch Chihana, President of the Alliance for Democracy, Secretary Generals of the DPP and Aford, Vice Presidents of the DPP and Aford. In the interest of time, allow me to say all protocol observed. I have a very difficult assignment to do this morning. To introduce the Manifesto of the Democratic Progressive Party for the years 2025 to 2030. Just a bit of background. There was formed a team of drafters, researchers, and all. So the product that we are going to unveil today has taken close to 6 months of work. There was a team of 19 eminent ladies and gentlemen who have been meeting this month. They did research, so they went to the ground and talked to everyone that they could. So the product that we have here is not addressing DPP interests. It is addressing Malawians' interests. So the solutions that are being proposed are responding to what Malawians want, from Chitipa to Nsanje, from Kotakota to Mchinji. In order to come up with this document, as I said, apart from collecting data analyzing, drafting, validating, and now we are presenting, there are several requirements that we have had to follow, and I would like to confirm. The Political Parties Act, Amendment 1 of 2022, requires that any political party that wants to participate in an election in this country must develop a manifesto that meets the requirements of the land, specifically under the Malawi 2063, and then the manifesto is subjected to an assessment by the National Planning Commission, and if the commission is satisfied that you meet the requirements of developing this country, then they give you a certificate. And I'm glad to say the DPP manifesto has been certified by the National Planning Commission. Honorable members, the DPP manifesto is 92 pages long, and it covers the following. There are pillars of development that we have emancipated in the document, and these are agricultural productivity and commercialization. Number 2 is industrialization. Number 3 is urbanization. And number 4 is decentralization. There are enablers that have been expounded in the document, and these are mining, transport, energy. For our youth, you may be excited, ICT and artificial intelligence, energy, as I've already highlighted, tourism, secondary cities, land, housing, water services. Mindset change has a special chapter. There is good governance, rule of law, and fighting corruption, security, international cooperation and the diaspora, public service, private sector, industry and trade, in human capital development, education, health, nutrition, sanitation and hygiene, women empowerment and gender, disadvantaged persons, the elderly and people with special needs, environmental sustainability and disaster risk management, youth and sports, climate change, non-state actors, that's the media, civil society and religious organizations, and finally, creative arts. Ladies and gentlemen, I will try just to highlight some of the summaries, and my colleagues on my right will get into details of the following: education, governance, rule of law and corruption, We have industrialization, private sector and trade. The next will handle youth, women and the elderly. And then we'll have health, nutrition and sanitation. And then we'll have infrastructure, where we'll handle mining, roads, bridges, and such stuff. So in my summary, I will avoid those that I know are going to be tackled by my colleagues. But above all, the DPP manifesto has two very key chapters that I'll speak to in detail. One, the macroeconomic framework. So all that we are going to talk about, we are going to explain how the DPP is going to change the economy. It wants to grow the economy. By 2030, the economy of Malawi will grow by not less than 6%. There is a dedicated chapter, as I said, on agriculture and food security for simple reasons. Among our terms of reference that we, as a drafting committee, were given, included making food security undebatable. Make food not a topic. It must be something taken for granted. And that's what we have done in the document. Very quickly, in tourism, something very outstanding is an establishment of a package. I'll just create a package, you get the details in there, for local Malawians. The tourism, so far, we have looked at it, it must be somebody coming from outside Malawi, and then is the tourist. Our research indicated that we've got Malawian. Mountain tourism, Saturday, Island, what this DPP manifesto is talking is about doing things differently. Ndalama at the moment is a capital. And when you are in your area, you talked to, there is no money. They are not funded. The DPP manifesto is suggesting the following things. And this is devolving money. As I said, we are going to the 229 constituencies looking for data. And the DPP manifesto says under decentralization, money will be moved from Capital and the following things are going to happen. Every constituency in Malawi will be allocated money will now be at the district level, at the constituency level. So every constituency in Malawi, it doesn't matter whether you are, it's a
will have access to 50 million kwacha every year for health.
The drafters have researched, have looked at what is happening, and have identified there's a lot of money, but the cost of running the money is too high. What do? The DPP manifesto says we'll have that money in the following manner. Every constituency has a package for the youth loans in the tune of 100 million kwacha per constituency per year. Not just that, women will have access to 100 million kwacha every year for women businesses. Are you not going to increase money supply in the economy? No. I'll come back with the macroeconomic framework. Your Honor, let's talk about security. The manifesto has talked to the MDF, has something for the Malawi police, the Malawi prison service, immigration and citizen service, and national intelligence. We have specific programs for the MDF and what the manifesto is highlighting. I'll not highlight them. You have access to the manifesto. But there's something that we found interesting under the Malawi Police Service. Apart from having capacity and operations of the police enhanced, there is an issue of the capacity and operations of the Independent Complaints Commission of Police. The DPP is going to fund and build capacity of this institution, which will work as a check onto the operations of our police. It is aimed at promoting accountability, professionalism, discipline, and the respect of the rule of law and human rights in policing functions. Our cities, we are the only country which does not have city police. The DPP will ensure that Mzuzu, Lilongwe, Blantyre, Zomba, for a start, will have city police. And Mangochi as well. There's an issue of road traffic safety services and the issue of on-the-spot traffic fines. I know this one is going to be an immediate announcement after September 16th. No on-the-spot fines. We need to move. The document proposes enhancing traffic services with modern surveillance systems. Have CCTVs. We need to find a solution and find alternatives to the use of breathalyzers on the road. It's killing business. The document talks more how that has been done. Construction of houses, 4,500 houses will be built for the police. Malawi prisons, we need to move. There are prisons that are in town. Why are you having a GT prison there? Move it out of the CBD. The same thing in Lilongwe and other places. There are places that don't have prisons, whether it's Kalombe, Salima, Mchinji, Rumpi, and Monkey Bay. They need new prisons and they'll be built. Houses, the prisons will also have 1,500 houses by 2030. Immigration, there's a lot, but I'm just trying to get those snipers because now we are running against time. Immigration, we need to stop the country from embarrassment. Passports are so basic. So the manifesto talks about how we are going to restore the integrity and quality of passports. In those days, a Malawian passport holder could go to almost all countries without visa requirement because it was an honest passport. Now we have got limitations. So we have to restore the integrity and the specific projects on that. I think I need to drink water. But one thing I would like to say is special about I was just kidding. But thank you. My colleagues will talk to the 6 areas that I said, and then I'll come back and tell you where the money will come from. Your Honor, may I take a break and ask my colleagues to get into the details. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. DPP! Dr. Collins Magalasi. Amakhala mwina 20 minutes osayankhula kumakayankhula mmutu mundi mmene mmazoti economist wadzuka. DPP oye! Ndikuona Honorable Suleiman akuoneka kuti ali ndi mawu paja amakhala mawu nthawi zonse landanule mwana. Pepani, sindikupasani mpata pepani. Ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a few videos that are going to be played shortly. There's the first one that's going to run now, and after the panel discussion, there's going to be another one that's going to come. We have our moderator in the house, Mr. Patrick Achitabuino, who's going to take us through the whole panel discussion in front. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, the video clip is about to show.
Essential foundation, a stable economy. But today, that foundation is crumbling. Between 2021 and 2024, inflation averaged 25%. By early 2025, it had soared to 34.2%. The policy rate has more than doubled from 12% to 26%, choking business activity. Foreign reserves are at their lowest in a decade. Public debt, a staggering 16.4 trillion Malawi kwacha, quadrupled since 2020. Excessive borrowing is pushing out private investment, stalling growth, and deepening hardship. Real GDP growth is nearly flatlined, averaging just 1%. In 2024, decreased by 1.8%. Malawi is on the edge of an economic crisis. But this is not where the story ends. The DPP has a bold recovery plan. By 2027, we aim to reduce inflation to single digits and restore average growth to 6.5% between 2028 and 2030. We will save 500 billion Malawi kwacha in 2026 alone through fiscal discipline, smaller government, tighter controls, and smarter spending. Every kwacha will be reinvested 6.35 trillion kwacha into power, mining, agriculture, transport, and industry. We'll grow what we consume and export what we grow. The DPP vision is clear. From instability to strength, from crisis to growth. A government that lives with DPP, delivering prosperity, restoring hope.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, at this particular point in time, may I introduce to you our moderator, Mr. Patrick Achitabuino, to take us through the panel discussion. Mr. Patrick Achitabuino, this is your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Special thanks. Allow me to recognize firstly the running mate of the Mighty Democratic Progressive Party, Jenny Ansar, SC. Let me also recognize Honorable Enoch Shahana from the Alliance for Democracy. All protocols observed. Distinguished colleagues, what we have basically is now a synopsis of where we're going. Dr. McGlassie has just given us a snippet of what we should anticipate. And we cannot exhaust everything at this point in time. Nevertheless, it is necessary that we look at some of the key technical aspects. We have 30 minutes. We have 1 hour, that is. We might cut it slightly shorter because we're mindful also that we've got a great afternoon to which much of these things will be expounded. So we'll have some probing aspects to complement what Dr. McGlassie actually said. And I will start with Madam Jana. If we are to change as a country, if we are to move forward and become an upper income economy, industrialization plays a key critical role. Apparently, the industrialization sector contributes less than 15% to the GDP of the country. And that doesn't make great sense at all. Great challenges that we face, among them, limited agricultural productivity. I know Dr. McGlassie will come to it. Inadequate infrastructure development. And according to how the manifesto is, do we have the messianic aspect in the industrial perspective? Practical dimension. Over to you.
Thank you very much. As you have just stipulated where the country is coming from, the DPP has plans. We have spoken about industrialization in many forums. 10 years down the line, we haven't really moved. DPP has developed targeted key industries. We have got agro-processing, textile, mineral processing, pharmaceuticals. And we have plans of the special economic zones, the expansion, but we have got enablers as well that will lead to that industrialization. We are talking about the mining industry, energy. In the mining industry, in Malawi, we have got the Mamiko. We are going to capitalize it with not less than 500 billion kwacha. We will ensure that the raw minerals are not exported as such. We are going to enhance the processing. The laboratories are going to be established in Malawi to make sure we have value to our minerals. Above all, we are going to ring-fence. We are going to map our minerals and ring-fence them to make sure that we protect our wealth and we benefit. On energy, we are going to look at the power industry. We will continue with the reforms that started in 2015 by the DPP government. They fell apart in around 2020. We will bring back the Power Market Limited as a single buyer, and we will establish distribution companies in all the regions. These distribution companies are going to bring in efficiencies. We cannot have an issue, electrical issue in Chitipa, and have it to report in Blantyre for a spare part to be bought to be taken back to Chitipa. This will enhance the coming in of the independent power producers, and we are going to create a vibrant power industry where trading will happen between the entities. This means growth and more connection. Thank you.
Special thanks. Madam Jan has mentioned trade, and it is concluded by default that it is trade and not aid which is going to develop Africa, because aid has never developed any nation on earth. Our balance of payment leaves a lot to be desired at present. We are lightweight in terms of exports in the country. Inflation skyrockets each and every day. Devaluation is hitting us each and every day. I would like to go to Mr. Kumbemba so that you complement on the trading aspect. Practically, according to the manifesto getting launched, how is trade and investment becoming the messiah in it, in the practical perspective? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Let me start by saying our founding father, Professor Bingu Mtarika, used to tell the nation that Malawi must become a producing country and exporting, and not an importing and consuming. But we continue to be a consuming country. And that's more reason, just to add from what my colleague Velanti mentioned, in the manifesto, DPP wants to take this country back to the drawing board by, among others, rolling up the special economic zones. We've talked about special economic zones. Colleagues in the room wish to know that before DPP exited the stage, we had already done some work in Jigumura, where we have over 40 hectares which were ready for allocation and for factories to start up producing. In Lilongwe, Maguero, the famous Maguero, that's the DPP project that we founded to ring-fence over 500 hectares that industries will locate there. And when I talk about industry, I'm not only talking about foreign investors. Even people in this room have reached a threshold that they can invest in those sites. So when we talk about job creation, when we talk about foreign exchange earning for the country, the answer is for Malawi to go back to industrialization. Malawi needs to industrialize. Malawi needs to produce. Malawi is not producing. We've gone out, as you've talked about trade. Malawi is a signatory to all those trade agreements, SADC, COMESA, now Africa, Continental, and many more preferential acts. But Malawi is not supplying to those markets because we're not producing. And there's no shortcut. So these special economic zones, like the Chigumawana, if I can give an example, factories can start qualifying investors, even domestic. There will be a committee to allocate even as early as September, because factories already, plots were already allocated. So when those factories start operating, then we can mop out the tomatoes that are perishing. Because there will be small industries to mop out those into production. You look at the vegetables that are perishing, dehydration factories can be set up to process cleaning food soil, which you can even export. Simple. But that is what will give us the jobs. You see, currently we're not exporting. So I think there's no shortcut, if I may put it, that, as we speak in the manifesto, we're talking about starting with 5 special economic zones. 2 are already in place, and what is remaining is just to operationalize them. But 3 will be established. 1 in Mzuzu. Land was already identified before DPP left office at Sonda, over 200 hectares. Another special economic zone will be in Karonga. And the 5th one will be in Mangochi. But not only those, because studies had already also been done in Ngada Bay, in Salima, in Lionde, as well as Chikwawa, where land about 200 hectares was already identified. So I think Malawi needs to go back to industrialization. We should not lose sight of the fact that, we had the Kanengo industrial site, which is full. We had the Chirimba, we had the Makata. Those are full now. And when people want to invest, they have problems to get land. Because the special economic zones, they have everything together. You have water, you have electricity, you have roads. So someone simply comes and start producing, and then we can start addressing the problem of unemployment, the problem of foreign exchange, then we'll be able to export. I think let me stop there for now.
Special thanks. The future looks more bright now than ever before. And then if we keep on looking forward, if we develop the economy, we don't have to lose sight of the fact that over 50% of the population of this country is the youth. And if we do not take care of the youth, it means then we are sitting on a time bomb. Anything else can explode. Youth poverty is high, and employment is high. Even when the youth attend high education, they are still hopeless because they're jobless, they can't find the job markets. Honorable Tembo, from the practical perspective, is the DPP manifesto youth-centric?
Thank you very, very much for that. I think we've already heard some of the things that have been said. that the manifesto is going to help with the youth. But I'll just stretch on that a little bit and talk about some of the things that are going to happen, because the DPP is going to start from where we left off in 2020. So that is with the technical colleges. So make sure that the youth are back in the technical colleges, they learn nice, good skills from the technical colleges, and once they've learned those skills, they're going to then move on to get themselves a starter pack. Zomachitika patakali panopa nzokuti achinyamata akakhala kuti aphunzira luso lina lilonse, ena aphunzira kuweta nkhuku ndi zina zotero, koma akachoka pamene pajapa amakhala kupanda ndalama zokuti apange china chilichonse. Nde mwamva kale ndalama zija 100 million kwanja ipita ku constituency ina iliyonse imene achinyamata atha kumapanga access, so they'll have that to them. Nde of course paliso ma sports development as well amene akuchitika kuli ma stadium amene akubwera through the Democratic Progressive Party. Ku Blantyre stadium yena kuti ibwere, ku Mzuzu stadium yena kuti ibwere. Tikudziwa kuti AFCON anasankha kuti kulilongwe kwakhale AFCON because of the quality of the stadium imene ilipo panopa. So panopa achinyamata aku Blantyre, Mzuzu yakhala ma games ena saswedero mai kuja athaso mazaonera ku Blantyre kamena ku Mzuzu those particular games. So that is also coming. There's also 12 billion kwacha which is going to be put aside for sports development. This is a sports development fund, and this is going to help with sports in Malawi. And the DPP also intends to complete the Griffin Sainda Sports Complex, the Malawi Aquatic Center, to make sure kuti we've got quality sports. Sports tikapanga develop achinyamata kuti apange sports pankhanda achinyamata mbirimbiri okuti atha kupita kunja kumaka sewera mpira kumene kujako ndikubwereranso kumatumiza ma forex kumalawi kuno kuti tikale ndi ma netballers amene amasewera kunja, tikale ndi anyamata ena ndena amene amasewera kunja. Tifuna kuti DPP ipange develop anyamata asamaswe zochita, azikhala ndi zochita, apange develop through sports kuti atheso zathandiza dziko lino kutsogolo kuno. Pali zambiri zimene zikuchitika. District iliyonse inakhala ndi stadium yake yokuti anthu athandizike kupanga za sports, and pakhalanso dedicated national budget. Ma MPs akamapita ku parliament azikapanga budget yake ya netball ndi football kuti zimenezi zipite patsogolo. Pakhalanso policy ya sports to incentivize companies, ma companies amene akutha kumathandiza ma youth, those companies that are sponsoring sports, those companies will be incentivized and helped in a special way so that they continue to promote sports in the country. I think for now I can leave it for there. Thank you.
Special thanks. Honorable Temple, you spoke of remittances. We know countries like Brazil and Argentina, they reckon lots of money in remittances because of their football exports. And I would like to go to Dr. Justin Saidi in the education perspective, because human capacity development is the thing that this country needs the most. At present, remittances are not that good enough to spur economic development. 2 hours flight, I was just in Zimbabwe. They made $22 billion from remittances alone because the human capacity development is quite high and top-notch. And we can as well also do that. In the education sector, how is the DPP Manifesto addressing the issue of free primary education vis-a-vis against the quality? Because we need education with quality. But also, truth be told, at the higher level, should we anticipate more universities? Is the Mumbera University still remaining a pipeline dream, or is it going to become a reality? Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, moderator. DPP in education sector, we have looked at a number of areas. One is about the free primary and compulsory education. That is already in the Act 2013 Act. But we'll go further and provide free and compulsory secondary education to all our people in Malawi. And somebody may ask, why? How are we going to do it? We already have currently 5 million learners in the primary school and 600,000 learners in the secondary school. When you heard about the clip, we save about 500 billion kwacha. But the cost that we require to do this is just 90 billion kwacha. So we take from the state and be able to provide free and compulsory secondary education. And that means we'll also be able to review our 2013 Education Act so that we are able to include those issues in our act. But also apart from that, we have early childhood development centers in our country. But those are not attached to our primary schools. Come September, we'll attach all early child development centers to primary schools. We are also going to upgrade the entry qualification for our primary school teachers. It has remained a certificate in teaching certificate. We want to go to diploma and degree so that we provide the quality education to our primary school learners. Looking at the globalization, we require to review our curriculum and be able to include the issues of ICT, the environment, AI, etc., so that our teaching should match with the globalization. And we only concentrate on issues, current issues. We sometimes take 10 years to review the curriculum, and in the end we find that we are now already maybe 10 years back, and yet the curriculum is moving forward. So we will be able to review the curriculum and focus on the issues that are very relevant in the setup that we are. The globalization will be among those issues. We are also going to introduce special loans to our teachers so that they work well and they are incentivized and be able to do other than going and get caterpillar. We are also going to prioritize the recruitment, training, and deployment of teachers. We don't want to train teachers today and recruit them after 10 years. We'll be able to do it right away. They get recruited and we give them to respective schools and colleges. So far, we have technical education in the education sector. But what has happened is we are getting teachers from MUBAS. Now, MUBAS was established that they help people to develop or even to work on issues of technical, not necessarily teaching. So we build a technical training college for technical issues within the country in the first 5 years of our leadership.
Because we also have to have stakeholder engagement, some 2 or 3 questions, but I'll give you time to expound some of the aspects. Now we go to the health sector. Dr. Mpunga, drug stockout issues have become the norm of the day. Poor equipment maintenance is also the norm of the day. The human resource in the health sector, probably the composition doesn't match the input factor. Chaotic fleet management, among many other things. And the sector also highly depends on donors than how it can be sustainable from internally generated resources. And high above all, there's what is called high out-of-patient expenditure. Our patients have even spent more. People who are already in great miseries have also to spend more when they don't have other resources. Is the manifesto as hope in the practical perspective, and where are we going? Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Indeed, you have highlighted a few issues that we are facing as a sector. And the DPP has come with solutions to all those problems that we have highlighted. I should first mention that it takes a healthy nation for its socio-economic development to happen. And Malawi also recognizes this fact that also health is also an enabler in the 2063 agenda. So what the DPP manifesto is doing is to make sure that we have resources at the point of delivery. I think when Dr. McGrath was presenting, he did mention about funds that are going to be made available at the district level. We should also mention that we're riding on the same to create a fund, a health fund. You know that we have got a lot of challenges in the health sector that require funding. So that health funding is also going to assist in bridging some of the gaps that we are facing. We are going to make sure that we also make access of services a priority in this manifesto. I should just mention a few. We are going to construct new district hospitals in Rumpi, Chikwawa, and Dowa. These are new district hospitals. Colleagues who are from these districts will agree with me that they don't have state-of-the-art or good quality hospitals. We should also mention that we're going to make sure that each and every constituency out of the 229 constituencies has a functional health center. The DPP manifesto will also not stop there. It's also going to make sure that the health posts are also being built across the board. We're also going to make sure that we have a state-of-the-art facility. We have never seen this in Malawi before. We have got 4 central hospitals, but the DPP manifesto would like to have a state-of-the-art facility where the specialist services will be available. We are proposing that this state-of-the-art facility be stationed at Zomba. We're also going to make sure that we cut the unnecessary expenditures in the health sector. You see, we have a lot of referrals that come from primary to secondary up to tertiary level. The reason being, we have got specialist doctors who are stationed at the central hospitals. All that is a lot of cost on the health sector. So what the DPP manifesto is saying is that we're also going to redeploy the specialists to the lower level, in this case, the district hospitals. We are not going just to make sure that the services are available closer to their homes, but also going to build capacity at the district level and at the health center. So the DPP manifesto is one of the best manifestos I've ever participated in, I've ever seen. It's going to make sure that we change the way we do the business in the health sector. If you read the manifesto, you see that we're also going to use AI. Transportation of samples, for example, drugs, for example, to hard-to-reach areas. We also want to use drones so that where you cannot access the services quickly or the samples cannot be transported quickly, we use the drones to transport that. We have rented a number of emergencies that we have had as a country, including the COVID-19 disease outbreaks, where we took a lot of time to get to grips with what was happening. We are proposing that we have a metric or system, a dashboard system, which is going to make sure that we keep track of the trends in all the diseases, especially the epidemic-prone diseases, so that we don't just wait until the epidemic happens. We should be able to trace the trends and be able to take action quickly. We call this situation room, the health situation room, which will be established at the Public Health Institute. And for your information, we are going to enact the Public Health Health Institute Management Act, which has remained dormant since the DPP left the government in 2020. So we are going to do a lot to the country to make sure that the services are available at the point of contract and also their quality services that are being provided.
Thanks. We can be assured that all things being equal in the way that you've expounded, then we're going to improve. But now, Honorable Samuel Tembenu SC, rule of law, or rather the other way around? Because apparently there have been quite a number of challenges. Are we all equal before the law? Are we all equal before the law? And looking at our running mate is looking at me because she well understands the issues of the legal aspects much more better. Are we all equal? when we are facing the law. And when it comes to separation of powers, is the DPP manifesto straightforward on what will happen?
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. I would answer the question in the affirmative that according to the Constitution of Malawi, Section 20, we are all supposed to be equal before the law. I have been tasked to talk about good governance and rule of law. Probably, I think, let's talk about what the manifesto talks about regarding the governance. I want to break down governance in such a way that it's understood by everybody here. Allow me to just ask a question, if I may. Who among us has ever seen an elephant, a live one? Hands up. But I think there is a majority that haven't seen an elephant. But if you saw one, would you be in doubt as to whether it's an elephant or not? I'm sure you'd say, that's an elephant. So when you talk about the governance has its own aspects, characteristics, things like transparency, accountability, those go into governance, rule of law. So we are supposed to have a law that is equally applied to both the governed and those who are governing. What we see lacking in our midst, and that's what the manifesto addresses, is to try and create a Malawi where all of us are equal before the law. You wouldn't want to see a Malawi where there are institutions that are not accountable to anybody. So the manifesto talks about all those governance institutions like the Ombudsman, the police, the Malawi Human Rights Commission, Law Commission, even the courts are also covered in the Constitution. All we are doing is, in the manifesto rather, what we are doing here is that we want to create a society where nobody is above the law. We want to create a society where we have a police force that promotes and protects all of us. Nobody would want to see a police force that sees people being clobbered in daylight and they do nothing. We want to move away from that. The manifesto talks about a Malawi where the wealth is equally shared among Malawians. We don't want to create a society where there is rampant corruption, that the wealth of the nation is just shared among very, very few people. So there is a lot in this manifesto that talks about equality before the law and sharing those resources that are there among Malawians, all Malawians, so that corruption is arrested. There is a problem that the manifesto identifies. You know, we have heard about talk about fighting corruption, like we have resourced the Anti-Corruption Bureau properly. But this manifesto goes beyond resourcing, because resourcing and allowing the institutions like the Anti-Corruption Bureau to operate properly are two different things. So we have we want to create a Malawi where even the Anti-Corruption Bureau is not only fully resourced, but it should be able to do its work properly without having to be bothered or to interfere with its working. We have seen in this country heads or a head of the Anti-Corruption Bureau being arrested in the middle of the night and no accountability whatsoever. This is what this manifesto is talking about, that we need to do away with those things. We want a police, like Mr. Maglas said earlier on, that is accountable to the people. We want laws that are equally applying to everybody. That's the Law Commission. There is so much. I can spend the whole day explaining what is in the Constitution about, in the manifesto rather, about equality before the law. So, equality before the law simply means that all of us must be subjected to the same laws equally without discrimination, both the governed as well as those who are governing.
Special thanks Honorable Samuel Tembedu SC, rule of law and not rule by law. And I've also just been informed to clarify that in the education sector, the foundations for Mbera University were led by the DPP government, but also on youth empowerment, that the issue of Wanderers and Bullets football stadiums were also a brainchild of the DPP. Now, Dr. Maglasi, we, as a country, Malawi depends on agriculture. It entails, therefore, that we need an agrarian philosophy that can take this country forward. South Africa imports rice from as far as India. Wow, it's only 2 hours flight away from here. And tobacco rose at Lizula and Sangano. Wow. Just some 2-3 countries that were in Angola, they imported 22 billion worth of tomatoes from other countries. Our problem is lack of value addition and lack of storage capacities. And not too far away from here, in Namibia, they are in the top league of importing mineral water, billions. And Malawi has got no shortage of water. Let's talk of agricultural productivity and commercialization. Well, how agrarian are we becoming? And how is the manifesto addressing all those aspects?
Thank you very much, moderator. The section under agricultural productivity and commercialization in the DPP manifesto, as I said earlier on, wants to make food security obvious. That one is not even up for negotiation. And I don't need to go through that. That's the DPP. Nobody has to die from hunger. Simple things. We know the challenges. There's an issue of extension service. And this will come back to the question of why our neighbors, our friends are able to do product stuff more than us. The manifesto talks about, revamping the extension services. We understand. We used to have the Land Husbandry Training Center, for those of you that remember. It is almost dead now. So the DPP says, we are immediately going to resuscitate that former Land Husbandry Training Center, and we will rehabilitate residential training centers. We have got day training centers, and we have extension planning areas. Revamp them. This is where the Land Husbandry Training Center, this is where people were doing more than food. The manifesto talks about production inputs. It has been a challenge. So there are incentives that are in there for inputs. Everybody knows we used to have FISP, the Farm Input Subsidy Program. The manifesto says we are going to resuscitate it. But we will have to reform it. A simple question. People in Cholo, most of them don't have land to farm and grow maize. People in Katabe may not grow maize. They have cassava. Why should a farm input subsidy program give these people fertilizer? So the reforms will have to go beyond just giving them. People in Katabe, if they are into cassava, support them with farm input subsidy for their relevant type of crops. There are people here in Cholo, for example. I mentioned an example of Cholo. They've got cattle. Why don't you support these people? Buy cattle, they do milk, they sell, go and buy maize from an area that grows more maize. That is what the DPP manifesto is saying. Let's go to the issue of industrial farms. The DPP manifesto says we need to grow more and export. I'll tell you, the drafters debated the idea of mega farms was DPP's idea. But the idea was not about mega farms, angono. No. No. So the DPP manifesto talks about real industrial farms. And to show an example, the government itself is going to establish its own model industrial farms. It's already been calculated. The first one will be 25,000 hectares, the other one will be 12,500 hectares. You grow, there's already a market, $132 million will be produced, will be harvested from these model farms every year. So what we are saying is not just saying, oh, what my colleagues have said, they have been costed, and we know where to do it. And those details are in the manifesto. Let's talk about ADMAC. You mentioned storage and stuff. Really? Today we should not have ADMAC? Really? So the DPP says they are going to reform ADMAC into a fully functional commercial entity. ADMAC will work as a fully functional commercial entity. We have got tobacco auction floors. Why do we not have maize auction floors? Why? And why do we not have auction floors for other things? Why should we have auction floor for tea in Kenya? Why don't we have it in Malawi? So the DPP manifesto says we need to have markets. We need to revitalize the commodity exchange. We had commodity exchange under the DPP. Revitalize it. Food will not be an issue. We'll be able to export more. We will be able to earn the forex that we need. More importantly, when you have these markets, you'll be able to account for forex. Forex in Malawi, we get a lot of potential for forex. For example, under the DPP, this manifesto, in India, they are looking for groundnuts. In China, they're looking for groundnuts specific from Malawi. They need probably 90 times more than what we can produce. And it is simple. On groundnuts, can I tell you what the DPP manifesto says? It's a simple thing. Anybody, so you secure the market. Once you have secured the market, you help people with input. Everybody that will be producing groundnut for a particular market will have to get 3 million kwacha, every farmer, to worth of seeds. They produce, they go. So we have talked about contract farming and all those things in the manifesto. Climate smart agriculture technologies are in there. Strategic grain reserves. The manifesto says we need at least 150,000 metric tons throughout the year in our strategic grain reserves. We cannot be sitting here and waiting to be fed by a country that is in war. The manifesto says no.
Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this has been quite exciting. We would have loved to carry on and on and on, because there are more other great things that we have to expound. But please allow us that in the interest of time, we proceed with the other protocols. We also have got an amazing afternoon. Allow me to thank all the panelists for being so meticulous and for giving out issues greatly. And probably as we are departing from this stage, Dr. Maglas, you had something on macroeconomic fundamentals, probably as people are walking out down, and as I'm handing over to my good brother, you can expound just in a minute, and then we progress accordingly. Special thanks. Please, we may take our seats. Stay blessed.
Okay, so on the macroeconomic framework, as we said, the issue was where are you going to get the money? We understand there's a sad reality. We have got a volatile economy with the highest inflation averaging 25% the past 5 years. Forex shortage. Right now we have forex less than 1 week of import in our country. Interest rates are over 30%. You have got the black market premium That is more than 185%. Badly, those that are in economics, we have got the worst negative domestic primary balance. Public debt is now at over 18 trillion kwacha. These are figures that I'm giving when we were doing the research. Last week, we got new figures. So we have gone more beyond the 18 trillion. Average growth rate was 1% the past 4 years. Now, what would DPP do? We talked about many things to spend here. Those of you who remember in 2013, we needed to recover the economy from a collapse. What did we do? We'll do a repeat, but things have changed, so it'll be different. There are 3 stages, those that are into recovery of economies. One, the DPP government, under this manifesto, will have to stabilize the economy. How do you stabilize? We will implement strict fiscal consolidation measures. And these ones will bring about a saving of 500 billion kwacha in 2026, 700 billion kwacha in 2027, 1.5 trillion kwacha every year from 2028 to 2030. Now, these savings will be used to start reducing the debt that we have, and at the same time begin to invest in growth-propelling projects that are under the Malawi 2063, specifically MIP1. Now, the consolidation measure that I mentioned, this is what is key. What are we going to stop immediately? One, the DPP manifesto says it will have a lean and inclusive cabinet. Number 2, drastically reduce the budget for state residences. 3, freeze the purchase of new vehicles for public officials. Number 4, apply very strict commitment controls under the IFMIS in order to contain creation of arrears and eliminate guarantees. Ministries, departments have been busy borrowing and pushing the debt to the ministry. So you're saying we will have very strict control, commitment controls. Another immediate way we are going to save money, the DPP says we will reverse the decision to relocate MACRA, Malawi Housing Corporation, Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, prison services, national statistics offices, etc. There was a decision to move these ones to Lilongwe. And they are there. They left their buildings here, their own. They have moved to Lilongwe. They are renting. So as a consolidation measure, that will be reversed. Go back to where you have got your own structures. We will need to develop a domestic revenue mobilization strategy in order for us to increase the revenue by 5 percentage points of the GDP. And there are specific measures there, widening the taxpayers or the compliance, non-tax revenue and all that, it's in there. Another way we are going to save the money is rationalizing fiscal expenditures and stop non-budget activities. The past 5 years, we have been spending in areas that were not in the budget. There has been an issue of VAT exemptions on motor vehicles. This will have, for some public offices, this will be reviewed and eliminate those that are unnecessary. There's an issue of cost of parliament. So we need to rationalize and operationalize the operation cost of parliament. There's the issue of the public service, including foreign missions. You need the right people in the foreign service. And then there's the issue of transparency and accountability in state-owned enterprises. There's a lot. I'll jump very quickly to the issue of Forex. Right now, our Forex import cover is less than 1 week. Specifically, our import cover is for 4 days. It has never happened. What are we going to do? The manifesto says within the first 6 months, the DPP will have to work with the IMF and craft an ECF program. The DPP will enter into a 10-year, $2 billion financial arrangement with regional and international financial institutions. We know them. Number 3 is to reintroduce the $500 million government guaranteed revolving letters of credit in order to finance our strategic imports of fuel, oh my God, fertilizer, medicines, very simple things to procure. On Forex, the DPP will reverse the decision that was made to transfer foreign currency dominated accounts from commercial banks to the Reserve Bank. It will also reverse all the negative exchange control regulations on foreign currency dominated accounts belonging to NGOs. NGOs are crying and they are almost closing. Foreign missions and also Malawians in diaspora. Another reversal is going to be made on exchange control regulations on the mandatory conversion of export receipts. In terms of the monetary policy measures, I'll be very quick on this. You can read the details in there. The DPP will implement a hybrid of monetary policies. Specifically, the DPP government will have to set the monetary policy rate at a level that is consistent with positive real interest rates in order to tame inflation. The inflation is in the 30s. It has to come down to a single digit by 2028. We will need to slow down the growth of reserve money from the current 26% to 10% by the end of 2028. And then, some discipline here. We need to contain the Reserve Bank's net lending to government, and hence decelerate the broad money growth from the current 17.9% to 10.6% in 2028. The issue of debt. There are existing annual borrowing plans that are issued in the medium-term debt strategy. It's just a matter of adhering to them, and we'll do that. There's need to negotiate and restructure debts for sustainable settlement. This will be an immediate action. Prioritization of concessional loans over commercial loans. The DPP will not enter into any contractual obligation for new external public and publicly guaranteed non-concessional debt, at least in the first 2 years, in order for us to stop the growth of the debt and begin to reverse and clear it, so that we get the positive primary balance I talked about within the first 2 years. In monetary terms, that's the 250 billion saving that will be made on the debt by 2026. The other commitment is to live within means. The budget is going to be about, so all these plans, we are looking at the 28 trillion kwacha within 5 years. In other words, the plan for the DPP is based on domestically generated capacity. President Bingu already taught us how to do this. President Mutharika did it in 2014 plus. We can run our government using our own generated resource. from the consolidation measures, I already said we will save 500 next year, the other year 700, the other 1.5, 1.5. By 2030, we'll have 6.35 trillion kwacha of our own funds that will be allocated to save, to optimize, the capital, particularly in the to match up with what we get from the development partners. And the areas of interest are power generation, economic infrastructure, and agricultural commercialization. 3 other things that I would like to add on the growing this economy. We will have a digital bank. Every month, there's a potential to have a 700 billion kwacha. 700 billion kwacha. All that we need to do, there's Airtel, TNM, and whosoever. If you send me, you send money, you receive money. There are those small 200 kwacha. There are these small things. Add them up. The amount that will go to the government is coming to 700 billion. Why don't you have that? Why don't you have that in a digital bank? The DPP will do it. Where we are also going to do both growing of the economy and stabilizing of the economy for the foreseeable future is on mines. We need to revalue our mines so that when investors are coming, if you say that this mine is here for the next 100 years, you put a figure to it. So the investor will come in and say, I am going to put in this forex because this is what I'm going to take out from the process hereof. Why should the economy struggle with forex when we are having minerals? What is the difference? This is our natural resource. What is the difference with oil producing companies? They revalue theirs. If you want to go and begin business in an oil producing country, you commit yourself for X amount of money. And you are looking for forex. They know they are going to have that mine for 50 years. They front load. Why should we be talking about forex problems in the country? We will revalue our mines, our natural resources, just like the way they do in oil countries. And this will link to forex. It will happen. There are several things that are in there, but I'm mindful of the fact that we are running out of time. But I wanted to say one thing about investments in education. Apart from making primary education free and compulsory, if it is free and compulsory, what that means is if you have got a child at home, you as a parent have to make sure that the child is in school. Because it's free. Why should they stay at home? But we are aware that there are other impediments. There are development fees. There are examination fees. Many pupils fail to write exams because they don't have examination fees. The DPP Manifesto will abolish all examination fees. The money that you pay to MANEB will have to be made by government. So if you as a child, your duty is to go to school, learn, and be better. No more development fees, no more examination fees. Let us educate our country. I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Wow. We have a reason to celebrate. That was the chairman of the Manifesto launch and the whole committee, Dr. Collins Magalasi. Aford! Aford! DPP! DPP! Wow. Thank you very much. Zikomo kwambiri. Sindikudziwa kuti enawo manifesto ankalemba kutani. But in DPP we have got political think tanks. Nkona mtsogoleri wathu ali professor. Komanso tibwereze pano kunena kuti tisaiwale masanano kumjamba kukaya kamoto. Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika akutekesa chigawo chakumwera. Akutekesa ku Blantyre, mjamba, masanano, tonse amene tili muno komanso mukutionera kunjako, zindikirani kuti tili ndi campaign komanso manifesto launch this afternoon in Blantyre, the commercial city of Blantyre. Ndikuwuzeni chikunena kuti muzakaona gwape atayima munsewu kuchoka Nkhalango ameneyo wachalira liwiro. Mwaona Right Honorable Enoch Chihana ayang'ana nchile monsa ona kuti no ndikutuluka ndikuyima pakati pa njira. Liwiro ndi DPP. Machine. Muzwakale. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tindwa, mukusekerera banji. Ndikudziwa sumuli pa program. 1 minute. Machine. Hey, we love the blue. The blue looks good together. 1 minute. Ndikudziwa chairman nakundiyang'ana. Machine.
Okay, yes. Your Honor, Justice Dr. Jenny Ansah SC. The Right Honorable Enoch Kanzingeni Chihana, dubbed as EKC Sindia Moto. Tapanga launch manifesto eti na fenso a DPP Aford Alliance tilindi identity yomwe ndifuna ndichite launch pano kuti kamapita kumjamba mukuiziwa sijoncho mzingo wanga kuti machine eti machine mwayawona machine Professor machine APM machine Jenny Ansah machine Chihana machine Aford machine DPP machine Alliance machine Malawi machine Machine. Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting exciting, every bit of it. This time around, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to ask Right Honorable Enoch Chihana, Machine, President of Alliance for Democracy, Aford, to come to make his remarks, and of course,
to give us an endorsement. Thank you very much. Zikomo. Pano sopano pakwera wandale. Anzathu asukulu achokapo. Ndiye ndichita slogan. Chifukwa chonena kuti mabluza kumana akwatirana ukwatu pachitumbuka watu waira muiraira ndiye masaini athu uku kuli V uku kuli chonji tiyeni DPP waye DPP waye a professor waye Chihana waye Jenasa waye ndi Aford sopano Ntawi Liti I don't want to make a mistake which my brother Dr. Magalasi has made, but I'll forgive him because he's a technocrat. But if he is a politician or he was a politician, mukanamva lero kuti tiitanisane kuseri tikambirane. Because he kept on emphasizing the DPP government. The DPP government. He forgot that it would be DPP Aford government. So here I don't want to make the same mistake. I will try not to forget some of you on my salutation. Because as politicians, if we forget each other, it's an issue. But some of you, I think you are going to forgive me. The Right Honorable the next Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Dr. Justice Jane Ansah, Chair of the Organizing Committee, the two Secretary Generals, Amuketo and Mailimbe, my brother leader, Honorable Chaponda, the owner of this province, Honorable Mwanamveka, our Vice President, Mai Catherine Makunganya, Honorable Bright Msaka, VP, and also my young brother Gangata, VP for Central Region. Ja Rastafari, Honorable Chikome. All protocols observed. And also here, I think we have also a mayor of Blantyre City, Mr. Makwinja. I want to say one thing. Alliances have been made in this country, and Aford is well experienced in alliances. We started, I think, with Malawi Congress Party, alliance in opposition, where the first democratic speaker was Rodwell Mnyenyembe. From there, we moved to an alliance with the UDF, where the position of second vice president was created for it, Chakufa Chihana.
We pulled out of that alliance. Then we formed an alliance again, where UDF and Aford sponsored our beloved founder of DPP, Bingwa Mutharika. Ndielero tilipano, and one of the reasons why Aford we decided to go into an alliance with DPP is because of our policies. First and foremost, before thinking of other things, I've seen your 4 pillars. We have some similarities. You are looking at agriculture, food security, and we have to know that food is a human right. It's not something we have to talk about. It's not something that any government has to be praised. It is a human right. If any government does not provide food to its people, then it's not a government. And we have looked at commercial agriculture coming into industrialization. Then we have seen urbanization. And also, what is important to us as Alliance for Democracy, as a party that is a social democrat, is the issue of decentralization. Power to the people. It's a component yomwe fetaikonda kwambiri. Yomwe, I think, after pa 16, pa 17, pa 20, aukalumbiritsa professor, komaso a vice president, komaso second vice president waima pano. It's an issue that will take it seriously. I think as a country, we have to stop to be jokers. In this country, there are so many jokers. To know that this country where with so many jokers, look at the presidential candidates, 20. You can tell that this one is a joker, this one is a joker. That's why we have followed you, because we know DPP is a very serious organization. And us, we cannot go into an alliance with a joker, no. And DPP, you have to know we are proud of you. Tender and most. Why am I saying we have similarities in our manifesto? As we have short-term, medium-term, and long-term. We have our 4 Fs. That is forex, fertilizer, food, and fuel. These, within 3 months, will stabilize the economy of this country. There are other things that cannot be in the manifesto where we'll be operating outside the box. And as some of the investments we have already discussed with people who are going to invest in agriculture. And there are some sectors that will concentrate within 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. After 4 years, I can assure you, Malawi will be a middle income country. Ndichifukwa chake muntu kundifusa hivi ndikugona. Nchifukwa chani mwasiya zipanizo says ndupita ku DPP. My answer is I don't go to bed with jokers. And the DPP has been tested to the limit. DPP has gone through serious turbulence. And Aford, 30 years in existence, we have been in serious turbulence. To a point where this party was dying completely. Tinakachitokumba mmanda kuti ukhala ngati mnakaikaja akupuma. And here we are. We are a very serious party, well organized, that cannot be pushed around. Chifukwa chaichi your honor and all members of the DPP, akuluakulu achalichi muli muno, mudziwe kuti pa 16 boma litukuwina. No doubt. Anakamba so that digital banking. That's the way. You go to pressure from MRA Ichoka. The money from MRA can be used to retire some debts. Mamvakale, this country, ili mgongolo sata masewe. So we have experts, amena titandize, kupanga zimenezi. If nchitoya tuma politicians, ndikulankhula, ndikuza nzo chichitike. Inu mapita ku school inu is to implement mziwe chimenezi. That's all. Timasiana Maro. I cannot be an engineer and become a politician. It's wrong. Singachoko Queens, Dogotara, ni Jegeseni, nikakare politician. Aye. Leave this field to us. Then you, mnapuzela sukuluni, ndiye mzipanga what is best. Ndiye ziko lima enda bwino. Pomaliza pen, I've been given a responsibility on behalf of the Alliance for Democracy Aford to look at the DPP manifesto, to kuona some areas where we can sit and discuss. Also, what is going to happen with the consultation of my father, Professor Peter Mtalika, is to appoint 2 technical teams that will sit down and come up with a working document. That working document, that's what we are going to use. Ifeyo mboma mwatu, first month, second month, third month, fourth month, paka 6 months. Nde technical team yo, ndikupempheni ma secretary general awilinu, kuti mukhale pansi, then musankhe ma brains ose ku DPP, ku Aford, komanso even outsiders atitandize, awone manifesto awiliwa, and see what can be done. I don't want to filibuster here. My job will be kunjamba. For kujatima tukwanako pangono. Muno nzachizungu zaule mustima tukwana. Komaso pale achalichi zikongwa mbili.
Machine, machine! Machine, machine!
Open.
Thank you. Wow.
Arangova Aford India tati akwilisana ayambapo manongonongo. Arangova DPP India Aford isakwilisana ayambapo manongonongo. Atati ndinyamuleni achipanda ndinyamuleni ena watoto ena watangwanika.
Thank you very much. Zikomo kwambiri. And yes, indeed, Right Honorable Enek Hana, DPP and Aford have a lot of similarities. I kept listening to you as you went through your speech. I thought you would hit one point that you missed. Please allow me and don't arrest me. The blue color. Pano amaindi abambo, maule mwonse nundirole kuti ndidzutse Honorable Peter Mukito Secretary General wa chipani cha DPP amene mwamphamvu zimene zili ndiwo komanso mwa iwo azatidzutsira our Right Honorable Justice Dr. Jenny Ansah SC DPP running mate.
Abingu amataka yankula. The Right Honorable Justice Dr. Jenny Ansah, SCE, the Democratic Progressive Party's running mate, the Aford President, Right Honorable Enoch Jihana, the Regional Vice Presidents from Aford and DPP, NGC members from both parties, diplomatic corps, religious leaders, civil society leaders, members of the business community, party members, fellow citizens, and all Malawians in this diaspora who are listening to us this morning. Good morning. Today marks a defining moment in the journey of our great party and our beloved nation. As the Secretary General of the Democratic Progressive Party, I stand before you filled with pride, hope, and unwavering faith in the spirit of the Malawian people. Our party was founded on the promise of progress, unity, and the unwavering conviction left behind, unheard, and unseen. The Democratic Progressive Party hears your voices, understands your struggles, and stands ready to save every corner of this nation. Echoing the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., our manifesto spells out concrete pillars. In fact, Martin Luther King Jr. said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Our manifesto spells out concrete plans for economic growth, transformative education, quality health care, modern agriculture, and good governance. We are committed to empowering our youth, uplifting our women, and protecting the rights of every citizen, regardless of tribe, region, and background. In the pages of our manifesto, you will find hope rekindled. You will find innovative solutions designed to create jobs, end poverty, and secure a bright tomorrow for every Malawian child. Our journey will not be easy, but with courage, unity, and faith, we will succeed. As Romans 8, verse 31 reminds us, if God is for us, who can be against us? And let us remember, this is not just our party's journey, it is Malawi's journey. Together we shall rise above division and doubt. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, the future depends on what you do today. So our future begins now and begins here at Mount Sochi. It is now my distinct honor to welcome a true daughter of Malawi, a woman of integrity, wisdom, and relentless dedication. As the running mate to our esteemed presidential candidate, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, she has always served with distinction and unwavering commitment to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Justice Dr. Jenny Ansah to deliver the Manifesto launch speech. I thank you for your kind attention. May all God bless you all. Thank you so much.
DPP woye! DPP woye! Professor Peter Mutharika woye! Nthawi! Liti! Thank you. Hosanna yo! Second Vice President, Right Honorable Enoch Chihana. Chair of the Organizing Committee, Collins Maglasi. Honorable SG for DPP, Honorable Mukito. Honorable Linda Limbe, SG Aford. Opposition Leader of the House, Honorable Chaponda. VP Honorable Joseph Mwanaveka. VP Catherine Makunganya Aford. VP Bright Msaka, SC. VP Honorable Alfred Gangata. All diplomats, all clergy, all members of parliament present, all NGC DPP members present, all NEC members, Aford, ladies and gentlemen, I see that it is still in the morning. Good morning. This morning, I am standing here before you to outline our Democratic Progressive Party will do for Malawians for the next 5 years and beyond. My duty then is to unveil the DPP Manifesto on behalf of the President and the party as a whole. This manifesto is a solemn promise to the people of Malawi. As our leader, Professor Peter Mutharika, always says, we promise what we do, and we do what we promise. Right now, Malawi is on fire. Malawi is dying slowly, a very painful death. And DPP is here to stop this disaster from happening. The DPP is the answer to Malawi's problems. This is our promise. Today, we pledge that we will change the economy and the politics of this country within the shortest period possible. We have started presenting our manifesto to you professionals, business leaders, religious leaders, and the international community, because we are inviting you to hold us accountable. We want to be held accountable because we are convinced and we know that we will deliver our promises. We are here to declare war against the colossal challenges that Malawians are facing in this country. Let us begin by remembering one thing. The Democratic Progressive Party stands for democratic principles and progress of this country. We are democratic, and we are the flag bearers of progress. That is what our name reminds us. This country has lost the path to progress. Economically, the country has collapsed. Malawians cannot afford a simple life. Malawians cannot afford to eat. Malawians cannot afford to drink tea. We used to have 4 o'clock tea. It is forgotten now. Life is just too expensive for Malawian. Politically, we are no longer a democracy. Civil servants and peaceful demonstrators are being hacked by machete-wielding individuals just because they are demanding accountability. They are looking for the fulfillment of their natural rights, human rights, which are rights that we get by birth. No one can take them away from us. So Malawi must be accountable. We are therefore not here to promise handouts, for we know handouts do not take us anywhere. Rather, let us give the fishing rod than fish. Because that will cause transformation. So we pledge transformation, a transformation that will see every one of us, our people in the rural areas, in the cities, and in towns, working towards a common goal, transforming Malawi from today until generations to come. This is what we owe our future generations. I remember there's one case in Asia where the future generations sued the government for mismanaging the environment because they said we'll come and find nothing, and they won that case. So we are here to transform Malawi for ourselves, our children, our grandchildren, and the future generation. At the heart of our democratic spirit, we believe in accountability. We believe in being accountable to the people of Malawi. We believe in being accountable to the law. We believe in being accountable to one another. We believe in being accountable to God. To summarize this principle, let me quote what our president of this party, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, said in a speech at Washington University. He said, I quote, "As a law professor, I had always thought the essence of democracy is the rule of law, as most scholars do, but my people changed my political philosophy. I have learned that the essence of democracy is accountability. The essence of democracy is that everyone must be accountable to someone else." We have heard the part of our manifesto dealing with the rule of law. Accountability has come as very, very important. Without accountability, people do whatever they do because they are not answerable to anyone. Very often, politicians promise great manifestos but fail to implement them. They fail to implement them for certain reasons. And I'll just give 4 reasons. The first one, leaders make promises and fail to be accountable to the people. We forget the people and begin to seek our own opportunities. The DPP and Aford, they will not be caught in that trap. Number 2, leaders make promises based on experiment rather than experience. And DPP and Aford are experience. They have experience. They have been there before. They come back, drawing from the experience they had and the experience now. Number 3, leaders make promises that are not realistic. This happens most of the times because of cut and paste. You cut something in the UK, everyone that is born a baby will be given 500,000. And yet, we do not have social security. We must first study what social security is and where the money comes from for social security. So because of cutting and paste without understanding what we are on about, we do not fulfill those promises. They remain dreams that will never come to pass. Number 4, leaders make promises without having an economic plan for implementing the promises. We have heard from the experts. They are not just talking from nowhere, but there's a basis. There are plans. They know where to get what to fulfill the promises. So the question is, what is the DPP manifesto as we work together in this alliance with Aford? What is that we are bringing to the people once we are voted into power? 1, this manifesto is based on experience and not experiment. Experiments are for the lab. Malawi is not a lab. We cannot afford to have trial and error. We do not have that time. We are playing with people's lives. We cannot afford experiments. From the foundation of the party, our goal has always been to make Malawi producing economy and stop being consuming economy. Making Malawi a producing economy is the best way of creating jobs for everyone. We now have the best experience on how to do it best. And this is the job we want to continue from September 16th. Number 2, the DPP manifesto is the manifesto of the people. The manifesto is based on people's needs. We do not just sit in the office, write this manifesto. We have spoken to Malawians. We have listened to their needs and calibrated our promises, our promises on their needs. But we have also spoken to various experts and development partners who work with us and understand the needs of this country. 3, what is also unique is that the DPP manifesto, together with the Aford manifesto, takes a bottom-top approach. In this approach, we want to spend more money on people and on the grassroots development infrastructure. This approach means more funding for the most frontline service providers serving communities at the local level. In order to highlight this approach, let me give one example. In every national budget, every district and every constituency and every ward will have its own money. In that scenario, every constituency will receive 5 billion kwacha every year. It does not matter whether the constituency belongs to a DPP member of parliament or an opposition member of parliament, as long as you are a Malawian, your constituency will receive 5 billion for development every year. That means every district, every constituency, and every ward will receive its own funding for development. For development spending 5 billion per constituency also means creating more community projects and creating more jobs for the youth, for the women, and for the men at local level. Finally, let me say the DPP Manifesto, as it marries with the Alliance Aford Manifesto, is the only manifesto which has microeconomic framework for its implementation. We have an economic plan of implementation. In this framework, we will stabilize the economy, stabilize prices of goods and services, make forex available, and stabilize the exchange rate, and grow the economy. This means we do not just have a manifesto, but we also have a plan on how to implement this manifesto. These are only highlights. We have already made calculations of economic requirements and management, and we are ready to hit the ground running. As soon as Malawians vote for us on the 16th September, we are ready to get this country back on track. We make this earnest call to our fellow Malawians that voting for the mighty DPP and Aford on the 16th September 2025 will be the best decision for Mother Malawi. The DPP has an unparalleled track record in economic management and understands the economy of this country very well. The DPP will therefore be able to implement measures that will reverse the crisis that the country has become due to incompetence. By voting for the DPP, for the alliance, you will be saving Malawi from destruction. To the international community, development partners, bilateral and multilateral institutions, among others, we assure you of a consistent and trustworthy administration that you can transact business with, a government that will negotiate on good faith and respect its commitment. To our colleagues in the media, we call on you to partner with DPP Aford as we form a government that will reinstate press freedom, a government in which none of you will be intimidated, arrested, or harassed for exercising your freedom of expression. We have a record of our performance in this area. To the religious community, we would like to assure you that the DPP and Aford will foster a productive and respectable relationship, partnership between the religious community and the government. We are bringing a government that will work with you as we both serve the same people, Malawians, as faithful and citizens. To the public servants, we recognize you as the life and blood of any government. We recognize your commitment to saving Mother Malawi. We have been together and we know how committed you are. We know your sacrifices to this country. The incoming DPP Aford administration will recognize you for your commitment and sacrifice. To you, the students, we know your struggles and what should be done to ensure a safe and conducive learning environment. The DPP and Aford is set to work with you in addressing your challenges and your concerns. Finally, to the civil society organizations, activists, among others, we are pledging a conducive civil space. We will create an environment free from impediments, allowing Malawians to enjoy their freedoms and birthrights. We will not restrict demonstrations as we are experiencing now. You will be able to demonstrate, to represent the voices of Malawians. I have always been thankful to God for giving us a national anthem. This national anthem, we say we sing it, but when you actually go through the lyrics, you find that it is a prayer. And since it was introduced in Malawi, Malawi has been praying. We have been praying. And in 2 Kings chapter 20 verse 5, God spoke to King Hezekiah. And God is speaking to us. What did he say? He said, I have heard your prayer and seen your tears. I will heal you. God is saying, he has heard our prayer. He has seen our tears. He is here to heal Malawi. He has given us a visionary leader with proven work. He has worked, taken Malawi from very low economically to a higher place. We are blessed that we have a leader, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. Amalawa anzanga, ambuya akuti, amva, kulira kwa Malawi, amva, ndipo awona, misozi, awona kuvutika, pamene tikulira tikupita tisanaje tukagona, pamene sikusawafetereza akuti ambuye ali pano kuchiritsa Malawi. May the Lord save our country. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this particular moment in time, there'll be the official launch of the manifesto and the signing ceremony. I would humbly ask Right Honorable Enoch Chihana to join in front. Right Honorable Enoch Chihana joining the DBP running mates. So we see the chairman of the Manifesto technical team, the president of Alliance for Democracy, Aford, and of course, Justice Dr. Jane Ansah, ACC, DBP running mate, signing the manifesto marking the launch this morning. Kodi ngoma zangambika kumeneko ngoma. Nyimbo zo kumeneko akusaina. And as they are signing, may I humbly ask Reverend Kingsley Maulana, Sheikh Imrani Jafari, Madam Nadine Patel representing the CSOs, and of course Honorable Noah Lipipa representing college coordinator, actually as a college coordinator, to receive the hard copy of the manifesto this afternoon. Pamene akusainira manifesto imeneyi, zikomo kwambiri. I would like to ask the following names. Abwerenso kutsogolo kuno kuzalandira nawo. Kuzalandira nawo manifesto imeneyi kukhala nawo pamwambo osayinira. This marks the official launch of the DPP manifesto this afternoon, as our partners, the Alliance for Democracy, Aford, are here joining hands in celebrating the signing ceremony and the unveiling of the manifesto.
Kutsimikizira otsatira chipanichi za mfundo zake zina zikuluzikulu zimene akufunisisa kuti Malawi adziwe pamene azikapita pa 16 September kuti akasankhe mtsogoleri wa dziko lino, aphungu a nyumba ya malamulo komanso ndithu makhansala. Chisomo Chihana ndingokupemphani bambo beni kuti Amalawi akhalenso kuona zimene zikuchitika, unga unikepo motani pa zimene zachitika malo ano tsiku la lero.
mwina kwambiri ndikuzongofotokoza zonena kuti ndi zinthu zonena kuti takhalikuona zipani zosiyanasiyana zikuchita miyambo ngati imeneyi pamene ndafotokozera kuti zikuoneka kuti ani ache kuno otsatira chipani chimene cha DPP ndi okondwa komanso osangalala ndi choice cha anthu amene ndithu ali ngati ma torch bearer pa ulendo umenewu wa pa 16 September kuphatikizaponso ndithu anthu ena amene achita nawo mgwirizano komanso mwina chinthu china chosangalatsa chimene mwina chipite timakamba kumayambiriro kuja yankho kunena kuti mwina kodi amalawi akuyembekezera chani mmodzi mwa zinthu zimene ndithu anayankhula Jane Ansah nthawi imene
It's a very, very memorable moment indeed. Come in front.
This now
marks the official launch of the manifesto. Most of you will be able to access this manifesto through the QR code that has just been unveiled right now. In my hand, as you can see, there's a card that has got a QR code. We are going digital. We are so modern. You know, Aford and DPP are very modern. So all you do is
they should be held accountable
simply scan the QR code on the card, or you can scan it all around. There are people walking around with
implement zinthu zimene zili mu manifesto mwafa zimenezo zimene amalawi tikuyembekezera
ndithokoze kwambiri chisomo chihana mwapaderadera tithokozenso anthu onse amene tagwira nawo ntchito kuno matechnicians onse ndi amene atithandizira kuti tipezeke malo ino kwakukuluso ino kukhala pamenepo kuonera kanema amene wa Times kukhala nafe limodzi pa utatafu wathu wa Mchezo Times 360 Malawi komanso kutimvera pa wireless ya Times ine dzina langa Yankho Seunda pa nthawi ino bwanji tibwerere ku general corner kwero efo kwathu pa program yathu yotsatira ndi Anif mokomanonse
The Times Group inakhazikitsa nthambi ya customer experience ndi cholinga choti makasitomala azilandira thandizo loyenera mu nthawi yake. Nthambi iyi ndi yomwe ikulandira ndi kupereka mayankho pa madandaulo anu. Ngati mufuna mitengo pa zinthu zosiyanasiyana kuchokera ku The Times Group, imbani ku customer experience kuti muthandizike.